Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. From the brand new CD Inferno, there is Marty Friedman and I Can't Relax on Rock and Metal Revival, and it's good to hear Marty Friedman shredding.
Oh, yeah. This album kicks, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's good to hear from him, and from the land of the rising sun, we want to welcome Marty Friedman to Rock and Metal Revival. Welcome to the show, Marty.
Hey, it's good to be here. Actually, I'm not in the land of the rising sun right now. I'm in Paris.
Oh, you're in Paris. Nice.
So I don't know what rises over here, but today is finally a day off of the tour. We just did 5 shows in a row, and enjoying talking to you in America.
Nice.
Well, Marty, I tell you, going through this new CD since we've got it, Jerry and I have just been totally blown away by what a great CD this is. Tell us a little bit about Inferno and some of the special collaborations you did on there.
Well, Inferno is my new record. It came out on May 26th or 7th, depending on where you're at. And, man, it's the most intense record I've ever recorded. It's by far the heaviest album I've ever recorded. It's got the coolest guests that I can imagine. Rodrigo and Gabriella, Danko Jones, Alexei from Children of Bodom, all kinds of cool people. And we didn't just do little kind of guest cameo type of things. We actually wrote songs together and really made it sound like we're in the same band. It was really a deep collaboration with the guests. And, of course, the majority of the stuff is my solo stuff, but really turned up on steroids, so to speak. It's really the most energetic, heaviest album I've ever done, and I'm really excited about it and excited to talk about it.
There's a lot of diversity on it. Is that what you were going for? I mean, there's a lot of really slamming acoustic stuff on there, mixed in with the heavier shredding and stuff. Is that what you were going for, or?
Well, people say that there's a lot of variety on the record, and I don't really see it that way. When I vision the record, when I listen to it, it's pretty much full intensity the whole way, except for one ballad on there called Undertow. Even where there are some acoustic parts like Gabriella and Rodrigo and Gabriella play, it's still like really balls out. It's like really aggressive in kind of a grotesque orgy of guitar, so to speak.
Well, Marty, tell us what it was like riding with Jason Becker and working with him. I've just been amazed by his career, and that had to be quite an honor.
Oh, it was wonderful because it was almost exactly the same way that we worked together when we played together. He would have ideas and I would have ideas, and I would arrange the songs and produce them back then as I do now. So it really was not much different from the way we used to do it, only except for the fact that we both grown into hopefully much, much better musicians and artists since then. I know he has, and all the experiences that we've had since then kind of like piled up into this new piece of music. It's just a fantastic song.
So I'm a guitar player, and nothing compared to the way you play, dude. But Kiss got me into guitar too. They're the ones who got you into guitar, right?
That's right. I mean, it's a very, very common story. I mean, as you definitely know, they have a very influential way with people, and people who tend to go into heavy rock and heavy metal and stuff like that. When they were little kids, that magic of Kiss kind of sparked them up, and that's what Danko Jones is exactly the same way. And he and I are both huge Kiss freaks to this day, so that's kind of one thing that we share. But so many people in the rock music world started because of the impact of Kiss.
For sure.
Marty, I became a fan of your guitar playing through your Megadeth stuff, and I was telling a few friends of mine who are Megadeth fans that we were interviewing you, and they're like, well, what's he been up to? You've been pretty busy in Japan. I mean, you've had a few #1 singles and a great recording career over there.
Yeah, I've done so much things in Japan that I would have never dreamed could have happened. I've been releasing my solo records all the time ever since I lived there, so Inferno is my 12th. But between doing that, I've done so much television, maybe been on more than 600 programs.
Wow.
Since I've been there. And then aside from playing my own music, playing with other artists, my favorite Japanese artists, and just doing the biggest venues in Asia and just every possible dream has come over 10 times over. So I figured it was time to like give back to people outside of Japan who either forgot about me or have been trying to follow me, but they can't read Japanese. So I think I owe it to those people to do something worldwide, and that's what Inferno is.
Well, I mean, in the last few years, thrash metal's really been thrown out to the masses as being an integral part of the hard rock and metal scene. I mean, with the Big Four and everything, and you were a very integral part in that. I mean, how do you feel about thrash metal really taking its place in the forefront with metal?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I didn't think that heavy metal would last more than maybe 2 years or so, because when I was a teenager and I was playing really heavy music, it was so despised and so hated that we never ever thought it would come out of the underground. But then it did, and then it flourished, and it's still here, and I just hope it continues to grow and continues to be interesting. That's important for me, you know. But I think there's no stopping in sight. I mean, a lot of the younger bands are doing such cool stuff, and as you can hear, the collaborations on Inferno with guys like David Davidson from Revocation and Alexi from Children of Bodom, it's very healthy, and I just love the imagination that's going into the world of metal now.
Now, a lot of guitarists, they listen to you, they see you play, and they go, holy shit. Now, are there any guitarists that do that for you, that you listen to and go, holy shit?
Actually, the other guitarist in my solo band makes me say that just about every night.
Nice.
His name is Takayoshi Omura, and he's been playing in my solo band since about 2008. And he's just a monster. He's a monster. He also plays in the Japanese group Baby Metal.
I've heard of them. I know them.
You've heard of them. That's a really unique thing that's happening over in Japan, and he's also the guitarist in that band, and he's a fantastic player, and he makes me say holy shit every night.
That's the band with the three little girls.
Hey, can you say that on the radio?
Yeah, we can say that. Yeah, that's not that's cool.
All right, man.
Well,
Stop me running.
Well, hey, Marty, I mean, you know, when I first time I heard Alexi play with Children of Bodom a few years back, I could tell the influences he had on some of the with some of the young thrash metal guitarists like yourself. I mean, I could hear your playing in him. Do you realize how many young guitar players that you influenced back with that period?
You know, I try to almost purposely not really pay attention to what people say about me in the media or just in the past. I try not to look back at that type of thing. Obviously, I hear a lot of good, nice things like that. It's wonderful when I hear stuff like that, but it's not something I really prefer to follow and find out. So when I hear about some good players like that who mention me in interviews and stuff like that, it makes me very happy. And the record company actually compiled a list of people like Alexi who've mentioned my name in interviews and said good things. And it kind of like makes me blush, actually, because I really don't follow that type of thing too much, but it's fantastic. And you know, especially when people say they were influenced by me, but they have their own completely unique sound on their own. You know, it doesn't impress me so terribly much if someone is a carbon copy of my playing. But when these guys, like Alexi and like Rodrigo and Gabriella, they have their own sound that doesn't sound anything like me. So to hear that coming from them, it means a lot to me.
Well, you just said that when we started the interview that you're on the road in Paris. What are your tour plans looking like?
Well, we got some more shows on this tour, and then I go back to Japan and start the promotion machine for Inferno and take care of my television commitments. And in the next 3-4 weeks, we should be announcing tours for other parts of the world, hopefully the U.S. and South America and Japan.
That'd be outstanding. Now, if fans around the world, you know, want to find out what's going on with you, Marty, I mean, what's the best way to keep in touch with you and keep with what's going on?
The best way is to get onto Facebook or Twitter, and I try to do my best at that. I'm not nearly as good as some other people, but there's a lot of updates and stuff, and obviously my website, Marty-Friedman.com, and Prosthetic Records. But I think Facebook is probably the most immediate way to go, and Twitter. So love to hear from everybody.
Now, I've been listening to the this Inferno album for a couple days now, and I was wondering if you, listening back, you think there's any songs that could have benefited from adding some cowbell?
So adding cowbell? I mean, every song benefits from adding cowbell.
Oh, that's what we wanted to hear. Now, we're going to let you pick the song coming out of the interview, Marty. Well, what's your favorite track off Inferno?
Oh, man, it's so impossible to choose. So I'm just going to say the title track, Inferno.
All right.
Sweet.
We're going to crank this up on Rock and Metal Revival. Marty Friedman, it was an honor to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, you guys.
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radio's on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, on Rock 101 KLOL on Saturdays 11 p.m. Eastern, on Z-Rock 106.9 KKZR Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on uncontrollednoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.